Hey everyone, Dr. Graham here from East Coast Chiropractic, and we've got Spinal Health TV episode 13 this week. And we're revisiting the thoracic spine as it pertains to the shoulders this week. So many cases we see this. We all know it, the rounded shoulders, the stiffness in the traps, the reduction in range of motion. For some people, it's kind of an intense pinching in the shoulders. Typically what people will focus on then is the shoulder. How do we correct that shoulder? How do we make it feel more comfortable? How do we reduce the pinching? But typically what doesn't get looked at is really the drivers or the root causes, the underpinnings that may be contributing to that. The assumption is, well, if we get the pain out of there, that the issue might be gone. But again, what's driving that issue? One of the most common things we're going to see that pertains to shoulder issues is actually thoracic spine, so mid-back issues. It's very seldom you can completely rehabilitate a shoulder without addressing the spine, in particular that mid-back. So let's say, for example, you've got a rounded mid-back, so you've got a hyperkyphosis, or maybe it's even posterior translated. You can automatically see how much my shoulders dip forward. That is not a good position for the shoulders. And though I might be able to reduce the discomfort in that shoulder, if I don't actually address this issue, so there's better mobility, better structure there, and better setting of the shoulder girdle, there's likelihood that we may reproduce some of those issues in the shoulder and also keep that rigidity in the mid-back that frankly nobody wants. So, here's a little sequence. This is one that I personally do because my mid-back is a work in progress for sure. And we're going to use the foam roller. This desensitizes tissue more than anything. It compresses the tissue. It's not really a mobilizer as much as it is something that's going to take out some of the discomfort and make it a little more comfortable and prime the tissues for when you do actually work it. So first things first, we're jumping down. We're putting this on the mid-back. And as you may have heard us talk about before, we kind of have a rule that we don't foam roll the low back. So we're staying over that mid-back. Depending on what type of comfort level you have here, you may put your hands behind your neck just to support your mid-back. If you're real comfortable, we're going to jump over like this. Couple things. Try not to jump forward. Try not to hyperextend back. Think of keeping the core engaged and keep it a nice straight line. So I'm going to roll that thoracic spine of that mid-back to the base of the neck, down to where it starts to become the low back. And I'm just going to go up and down, and I'll spend generally about a minute on this area. If you want to increase it, you can do a little glute bridge and move over to the side so you can get those spinal muscles on the side of the spine. Same thing, roll over to this side. So I've spent my time on there. That's decompressed and desensitized that mid-back, okay? Now I'm going to go into some active mobility, and this is really the stuff that builds your mobility and keeps it, okay? This is a tough move, but it's a great move. We're going to go on all fours here, okay? My butt is on my feet. I don't recommend doing this with shoes. That's not very comfortable. And I'm going to get down in this position here. So I've got my elbows, my wrists on the floor, and I've got my hips on my feet. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take one hand, put it behind my head, and then what I'm going to do is rotate and look up to the sky as high as I can, and then bring it back down. And then I'm going to go up, hold it as high as I can, and then come down, okay? And I'm going to do that. I'll generally do about 10 to 15 repetitions per side, and I work through 2 to 3 sets every single day. That might not look very good because it's not a great range of motion, but that's actually improved a lot. So this is one of those things you have to rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. One common error with this one. If you don't have great mobility through that mid-back, the tendency is to shoot out like this, okay? But what I want you to remember is keep everything in this line. If there was a tunnel here, I'm not allowed to leave that tunnel. So that means when I'm extending and rotating, I'm staying square in this tunnel. I'm not shooting to the side. So there you have it. We're going to foam roll that thoracic spine and then go into some active rotation and extension in that mid-back. Repattern, rinse and repeat, and that's going to help make sure that thoracic spine can move as much as possible with that type of intervention, and that's going to also help that shoulder girdle coupled with stiffness and tension in the neck. Hope that helps. Let me know if you have any questions.